Welcome back to Medicine Made Easy with me Kavitendral, and this is the exam preparatory revision video. We'll be continuing on intratemporal complications of chronic suppurative otitis media from ENT. Now, the first intratemporal complication is mastoiditis. Mastoiditis is going to manifest as acute mastoiditis or latent or masked mastoiditis. Now, let us see what is mastoiditis. Our basic idea says itis is inflammation and mastoiditis is basically inflammation of the mastoid. Now, how it is inflamed? Basically, when the mucosa of mastoid, the mucosa lining the mastoid is inflamed, the infection is spreading from the mucosa into the bony wall in the mastoid air system. It is called as mastoiditis. So, from the mucosa to bony air system of mastoid, if the infection is spreading, then this is called as mastoiditis, and this is usually associated with acute otitis media. Now, let us first complete what is latent or masked mastoiditis. See, the name itself says it is masked. It means what? Something is masked. What is that mask? That is the features of mastoiditis. Now, why it is masked is after an acute otitis media, the child usually would have been treated with oral penicillin. Remember, this is usually seen in children. Yes. So after oral penicillin therapy for acute otitis media, there can be even some smoldering infection in the mastoid. So because of that smoldering infection inside the mastoid, there is slow mastoid destruction. Because of slow mastoid destruction, there is very mild post-oral pain. Apart from this, there is persistent hearing loss. Slow mastoid destruction because of smoldering infection in mastoid, there is persistent hearing loss. Mastoid and middle ear cavity, it is usually a conductive type of hearing loss, and here also there is conductive type of hearing loss. Now, because of the slow mastoid destruction, the entire mastoid air cells will be destroyed, and it is not the surprise that when we see the tegmen tympani, they can be even eroded also. Yes. Now, because of the pathological process going on, there can be slight mastoid tenderness. If you do an X-ray, we can see there is clouding of mastoid cells and there is loss of cell outline. The treatment is cortical mastoidectomy, and here, see here, this is the mastoid, and there is some pathological process which is going on in mastoid which is very slow because of smoldering infection in the mastoid. This infection can even spread to the middle ear and can even erode the tegmen tympani. This is called as latent or masked mastoiditis. It is latent because there was an oral penicillin given for AOIM. It is masked and there was slow mastoid destruction resulting in all the sequelae. Now let us get into an important short note, that is acute mastoiditis. Supposing a patient is going to present with fever, ear discharge for more than 3 weeks with retroauricular pain, then we need to suspect acute mastoiditis. Etiology is as very simple. See, mastoid is here. Mastoiditis is inflammation of the mastoid. If an infection reaches mastoid, it has to reach the nose, the eustachian tube, the middle ear, and then reach the mastoid. Then usually this route is upper respiratory tract. Then the most common cause could be a following upper respiratory tract infection, that is by viral etiology or beta-hemolytic streptococci. Done. If at all there is a pure nutrition or immunocompromised state, diabetes mellitus will also add on features to an acute mastoiditis being produced in the patient. Now, acute mastoiditis, we have discussed that the infection from mucosa is spreading to the bony wall of air system, that is mucoperiosteal inflammation of mastoid. Because of the mucoperiosteal inflammation of the mastoid, the pus is being produced under tension. Because of the pus which is produced under tension, there is decalcification of bony wall of mastoid. This is called as allostesis. Because of the decalcification, what happens? The entire mastoid cavity will become a single cavity. Now, what happens because of the pathological process? There is pus collection in that, and that is called as empyema of mastoid. Now, empyema of a mastoid is this. See, like this is the mastoid. Here is the pus. This pus can directly cause a subperiosteal abscess like this and can result in discharging fistula. Or sometimes it can be another way. The pus which is present here in retention will reach the aretus diantrum will reach the middle ear and can come out through the perforation in the tympanic membrane. Now, we have evident that there is a perforation in the tympanic membrane, and this perforation will result in ear discharge. This ear discharge is a pulsatile discharge. This is called as lighthouse sign. Because of all this pathological process taking place, there will be a conductive type of hearing loss. Now, because of the empyema which is produced, the pus in the mastoid, there will be mastoid tenderness and ironed out mastoid appearance. Apart from that, there is an obliterated retroauricular groove and swelling in the mastoid. That is, all the signs of inflammation, that is scalar, ruber, Doller tumor and loss of function, are seen in the case of acute mastoiditis. The differential diagnosis of mastoiditis is furunculosis of ear. Now, furunculosis of ear can have tracheal tenderness, the pinna is pushed only forward, and there is no sagging of bony ESC, and as well the discharge can never be purulent in furunculosis. These are the 4 cardinal features to distinguish between a mastoiditis and furunculosis. Now, how to manage? We know the patient is going to run in temperature, so what happens? We need to hospitalize the patient, then do CBC, ESR. On doing X-ray mastoid, it shows cloudy mastoid accents. We can do myrigotomy, and we know it is an infective etiology, so we can give ampicillin or amoxicillin. Why ampicillin, amoxicillin is we give a gram-positive coverage because probably it is an upper respiratory tract infection. We're all doing this before culture. So ampi or amoxicillin. If at all there is an anaerobic bacteria, then we can cover it metronidazole or chloramphenicol. The surgical management could be cortical mastoidectomy, and that is even done when the complications are seen, the reservoir sign is present, sagging posterior wall of ESC is seen, or there is a subperiosteal abscess. This is all about acute mastoiditis. To concise, an acute mastoiditis is infection from the mucus to mucoperiosteum of mastoid. Now, there is pus collection under tension, decalcification, that is hysteresis. Because of the pus collection here, there is tenderness of the mastoid, there is obliteration of the retroauricular groove, there is swelling in the mastoid, there is ironed out mastoid appearance, and eventually there will be subperiosteal abscess and discharging fistula, or there can be a pus which is reaching the adenocarcinoma, reaching the middle ear, reaching the perforated tympanic membrane, reaching into the EAC, causing persistent ear discharge, which is very purulent. Apart from this, there will be a conductive type of hearing loss, and this sign is called as a lighthouse sign, wherein which through a small perforation there is pus discharging into the external auditory canal. This is all about acute mastoiditis. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you like the video, do subscribe for regular videos and like, share your comments in the comment section below. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Stay tuned.